metaverse that is not only adding value, giving a real experience, real life experience, but also solving the huge, large problem of carbon footprints. I would like to invite Melissa from Metamozonia to come on stage and share her thoughts.
Hello, everyone. Every minute in the Amazon rainforest, 5 football pitches are cleared. Every minute, 5 football fields. How can this be? I remember when I was a little girl and I first heard about deforestation, and I maybe naively thought that by the time I was an adult, this would no longer be an issue. But I'm here to tell you that it is. And not only is it still deforestation still happening, but it is in fact increasing. It is accelerating. Deforestation of the Amazon rainforest is at its highest level since 2008 as we sit here today. And why am I concerned about trees? You'll find out when they put something up on the screen. But it's not just because we love trees at Metamozonia. It's not just that. It's because there is an undeniable link between the trees in the Amazon that grow to be up to 1,200 years old and climate change. And climate change is no longer some fringe thing that doesn't affect us in our daily lives. It's not an issue that is far removed. It is now something that impacts us on a daily basis. Did anyone go to Europe this summer? Anybody? Anybody experience? Yes. Did you experience the weather? Yes, exactly. It was very hot. And did anyone go to Pakistan or have family in Pakistan? Yes, I also have family in Pakistan. Some of them have dengue now. So this is no longer something that we can just continue to ignore. And while world leaders around the world are trying to figure out what is the solution, well, what is it that we can do? What is it that you can do, I can do? What can we actually do? Well, I'm here to tell you today that for the last 15 years, our team has found a solution. And we have been fighting on a purpose-driven mission to fight deforestation, climate change, and poverty. And this is a working business model that we are now ready to scale. And with Metamozonia, we now have the technology that is required to be able to reach millions and to scale our impact. If this clicker works, that would be super helpful. Okay. So what is... All right. Well, Metamozonia is a real-time digital twin of the largest reserve for sustainable development ever created in Amazonian history. That's right, the largest reserve for sustainable development. What does that mean? That means that we have found threatened land in the Amazon rainforest, and we have actively bought it up and been protecting it, including the communities that live there, for the last 15 years. And now over there, you can see our beautiful green booth. You can go and visit the Amazon. You can actually come and visit a real-time, photorealistic digital twin of what it's like to actually be in the Amazon today. And we are a different kind of Web3 company. We are a true synergy of what is Web3, the best of Web3, blockchain and ESG. I'm here today to tell you that not only is it possible to make a change, because we know, because we've been doing it, but now it is actually easy to be able to do so. And what is really important to also say is that not only is it easy to do so, but you know what? It is actually profitable to do so, because the business of climate change, the business of carbon offsetting is now becoming, it's exploding like wildfire. I mean, we are currently now, irony, yeah, and taken, but we are now in a world where everyone is racing to try to mitigate their impact and to become carbon neutral. This includes governments, this includes organizations, this includes individuals. And so the value of a ton of CO2 that has been mitigated has gone from $10 $1 10 years ago to what is now over $100 today. And according to Bloomberg, it is expected to increase to 3,000% by 3,000% by 2029. So it is not just do-gooding, but there's also a commercial advantage. My friends, this is a real opportunity. So today, as I talk to you about Metamozonia, what I'd like to do is tell you about where we've been, because you need to know where we've been. I'm going to talk about that real quick. Where we are, which is what we're doing right now, and really importantly, where we are going and how we're going to scale. So our business for the last 15 years is a conglomerate of social enterprises and techs for good. We have 15 years of not just, it's not blah, 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 we're actually getting results. So we understand our business model along 5 key verticals. The first being environmental. As I said before, we have 50,000 acres of protected land as we speak today. We're also social. So there are 15 communities that were already on that land. We provide them access to running water, access to internet, and a whole host of other social programs that are happening right now. And from a climate perspective, and this is absolutely critical, we have a contract with Verra, which is the top international regulatory body, arguably so, of carbon credits in the world. And we are currently have a 36-year contract to mitigate 2.2 million tons of carbon over 36 years. We're currently in our 10th year of auditing, and it's very strict and very rigorous. We did not just jump on the bandwagon yesterday. And for those that may want to know, 2.2 million tons of carbon, what is that? That is 2.2 million cars driving around the world once. That is what we are mitigating. Now, we are a social enterprise. We have to make money. We know that if we want to scale, we have to be able to be profitable and share that wealth with others. And so therefore, we have 2 key revenue streams coming from the real world asset itself. That includes non-timber products like acai berries and Brazil nuts. And really importantly, the carbon credit program is profitable and becoming more so by the day. And finally, technology is incredibly important as well. So this is where Metamozonia really starts to come in. We are using blockchain, we are using IT, and we are unlocking the potential of Web3 to create new forms of meaning and value in the world, and hopefully to be able to scale our business model far wider than we could have just a few years ago. So Metamozonia, what is it? It's a digital twin of the largest private reserve for sustainable development. It's a real asset. It's over there right now in the Amazon as we speak. We are a gamified fractional ownership platform, and we have a purpose-driven mission to fight deforestation, climate change, and poverty. And our intent is to work with Web3, and we're doing so right now in order to be able to scale, to improve transparency, and to democratize sustainable financing. And we are a photorealistic metaverse. We use GIS and satellite data. We use LiDAR scanning. And we use all of that so that we can actually have a real world and real-time metaverse. And you can actually just come check it out if you'd like to. So I'm sure you'd like to see it. So ta-da, that's a joke. Maybe it's not so funny. So let's roll it. So you can see here we're using satellite imagery in order to be able to map the space. We're identifying hotspots. Ooh, that's up. We're identifying hotspots and providing information so that people know what they're looking at when they look at it. This is a land plot. The land plot is broken up into 4. More about that in just a minute. That's really important. So this is an example of one of the 15 communities that we're currently looking after in the Amazon rainforest today. This is one of the villages, Jatwarana. And this is exactly what it looks like in real life. Our intent was to try to be as true to form as possible, and to give people the ability to visit the Amazon rainforest from wherever they are in the world. Now, our intent as we scale is to introduce multiplayer, play-to-earn games, land sales, building on land, basically everything you can do with Decentraland. But of course, we have academic and scientific value as well. So we do have a lot of academic partners. Can you imagine if you were a kid learning about the Amazon rainforest and actually got to go visit it? All right, so let's talk about what we're bringing to the world. In order to access this metaverse, in order to do so, you need to obtain an Amalan plot. Now, an Amalan plot it corresponds to unique coordinates in the actual reserve itself, and there are 4 different parts to that, 4 different potential shapes to that, and each one will have its own unique rarities. Now, for the plots, you can see this is our reserve up here. So we've broken that down into plots. And each of the plots have their own rarities, yeah? So there are specific fauna, which is basically wildlife, like a toucan, or flora, different types of vegetation. And this is based on the LiDAR scanning and the extrapolation that is happening on the ground. And there will be other rarities as well that we're adding for scientific and really interesting value. Like, for example, some of our plots, when they are unboxed by land acquirers, will have things like audio sensors, so they can actually hear what it sounds like in the Amazon. Or some will have video, so that they can actually see what it looks like on their piece of land. And this is fractional ownership, so individuals will be able to own these digital plots. So when you obtain a plot, there will be an unboxing. And the rarities, the flora, the fauna, the sensors, all of that will be unboxed. And this is the first product that we're coming to. We're opening our waiting list today. Today is actually our launch, so thank you for being here with us today. Now, this is not the only type of NFT that we intend to bring to the market. Really importantly, we want to make sure that we are rewarding our users that are coming on. And so our key reward mechanism goes back to what I was saying earlier about carbon offsets and about the value of a ton of carbon increasing exponentially. So landowners, people that obtain these Avaland NFTs, they will be gifted carbon credits. Tokenized carbon credits that are certified by Vera, which are currently quite rare. And these are, again, expected to increase, according to Bloomberg, by 3,000% by 2029. So you can liquidate, or you can keep them, or you can hold them. You can do whatever you want with them. They're yours. Now, we're not just stopping there. We also, like I'm saying, we're very interested in sustainable development and sustainable financing. So we are currently working on incubating a number of different projects on the ground. And we will also have an NFT collection associated with those as we scale up. And then finally, we have AMA Art. AMA Art is also a critical part of this because we know art is a way to connect with people, change hearts and minds. So we'll have 2 different types of art in our art collection, one created by inhabitants of the Amazon rainforest, and of course, they will be able to take 100% of the funds, but then also we'll be inviting global artists to join us as well. So let me kind of talk you through the journey, because I said it's easy for people to participate, but I just want to show how easy it is. Hopefully it'll be really clear. So a user or an investor acquires an Amaland NFT on the Metamozonia or on partners marketplaces. This then becomes like their access pass to visit the metaverse, to visit our Amazon. And they unlock the experience. They can engage with all of the city. They can engage with their reserve, other users, etc. And then they will, as I said earlier, they will receive a reward in the form of verified CO2 credits, which is a real-world asset coming from their plot of land. And then on our side, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with this? Well, really importantly, we're going to reinvest the proceeds of this into acquiring more land, because that's really the real-world asset that sits behind everything for us. So we'll also be looking to expand the reserve. We'll be looking into sustainable development and R&D. And as we scale, we will be introducing multiplayer. We'll also have in the works a utility token, as well as a DAO for governance and other types of NFTs. So we have truly a fantastic team from all over the world, and everyone is just as passionate as I am, if not more, about this project. Leo is an incredible serial entrepreneur. He is our founder and chairman. He's over there, lovely guy. And when I met him and he told me about all the work that he'd been doing, I thought this was it. Our CEO, Robin, he's an ex-Cambridge Imperial College UCL professor. Amazing guy. Adapat is ex-Meta. Our chief metaverse officer, Jonathan, he's Brazilian, but he also works for one of the top metaverse companies in Europe. Now, we also have a great partner network because we can't do this without partners. It's got to be a group effort. So this includes our academic partners, TDeFi, of course, Shisha Finance as well, Impacto, which is another accelerator, which is fantastic, based in Brazil, and a number of different NGOs and other organizations that we work with. But the reality is that what I've done so far is I've told you where we were and what we're doing. But what's most important is really what's next. So this is our roadmap. We're currently in the early phases, but our intent as we go ahead and roll out all these new NFTs and utilities is to finally, the really important part is where we start to scale our impact through the acquisition of more real world assets, which we can not only preserve and protect, but also extract value from. So let me tell you about what our ambition is, what we are on track to achieve by the end of this decade, and why we need everyone sitting here to join us. So our mission is radical innovation. We are trying to create new forms of value in the world. You know, we're trying to go for transparency. We're aiming for scalability. We're aiming for decentralization. But we are in the fight for sustainable development. And in order for us to be able to achieve our targets, we genuinely need your help. So while we said we already have an existing reserve in the Amazon rainforest as we speak, our intent is to scale that reserve to 5 million hectares. And what for 5 million hectares, for reference, is basically the size of Switzerland. And that is the real world asset from which we can extract real value. And importantly with that, the land comes with people. And we intend to also protect those people, scaling up our existing programs, like I mentioned earlier, around access to clean water, access to education, financial literacy, access to internet. And then finally, our intent is to get to 500 million tons of carbon just in this decade. We have 2.2 million. We know that we're on track to scale to conserve 2.2, but we want to get to 500 million tons of carbon. And this is not 100%. We are on track for this, because as we speak right now, we are exploring another 1 million hectares in the Amazon rainforest with the support of a Canadian fund and with the support of a Japanese fund, because we have the resources and we have the critical capabilities that are required on the ground to do so. But we need your help to do this. And that's why we're at a point where we want to expand our mission. We want to use the beauty of this technology and the potential of it for something that maybe isn't necessarily associated with this space, which is to scale for impact, to scale for good, but also to scale for profit. So I hope I've convinced you that not only is it possible to do something, it is easy to participate and enjoyable to participate, but also that this is a profitable business model. And I hope that you'll join our fight. And please come check us out over here if you'd like. Leo is over there. He's fantastic. Wave. That's our founder. So yes, we intend to reach millions, and we invite you to join us. Thank you.